Today I'm going to talk about the new album by Collective Soul. The name of the album is Here to Eternity, and it is a double album. It was released on May 18th, 2024, and they recorded this album at the estate of Elvis Presley in Palm Springs, California. They're also going on tour with Hootie and the Blowfish and Edwin McCain, which sounds like a pretty 90s rock type of tour, and it actually sounds pretty good. So a little bit of a background on this band. They came at the end of the grunge years. They were one of the first of that second wave of alternative bands of the mid-90s. Think of bands like Candlebox, Soul Asylum, those types of bands. I've always liked this band. They've had some good hits. First few albums were pretty good. I had kind of forgotten about them over the years, and then they released an album in 2022 called Vibrating. I reviewed that. I don't remember it that much because I guess it was just an okay album, but then they released this album yesterday, and I didn't even know about it. I just happened to see it listed in the new releases, and I decided to give it a listen. It's a double album. It's pretty long, not too long, like an hour and 10 minutes. Not as long as a typical double album would be if you're talking about a band from, or like Tool or Metallica, but it's a double album. So I'm going to go through it quickly. I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was a big variety on the album. Some stuff is more grungy, other stuff is more straightforward rock. So let's talk. First song is called Mother's Love, and this is a heavy grungy song. Starts off with a very heavy riff and has somewhat of an alternative sound. I thought of a band like Sonic Youth, but it's something that sounds like it came from one of their first albums. It has a really great guitar riff. I also like the guitar tone. They have a dirty, distorted guitar tone. It's the type of tone they were known for, but there's also a catchiness with the song. It has a radio rock vibe, and I thought it was pretty good. Next song is called Bluer Than So Blue, and like the title suggests, it's more of a blues rock type of sound. I noticed some of the guitar playing comes between the verses. It's very bluesy. I thought they were trying to show a different side of the band where they would step away from that heavy grunge and go for more of a rock sound. Although there are some grunge undertones on this song. Next song is called Let It Flow, and this one is very different. It kind of reminded me of U2 in the 90s. They use different electronic sounds. There's a heavy bass guitar. It was just a little different. It was pretty good. There are some elements of psychedelic rock. Has a driving bass line. Sounds really good listening to it with headphones. Let me also say that most of the songs are about 3 minutes long, and they seem to pack a lot of ideas into each. Then we have a song called Not the Same, and this is just an acoustic rock song. They're strumming chords, playing some lead guitar. Kind of reminds me of Tom Petty. Actually, it reminds me a lot of Tom Petty, but still has that signature sound. Let me also mention that Ed Roland still sounds very good. I like this one. It's very upbeat. It's uplifting. You have the backing vocals towards the end of the song, and it's a pretty. We have a song called Bob Dylan, Where Are You Today? So obviously it's about Bob Dylan, and it sounds like it's a Bob Dylan type of song. It's an acoustic track, and I think it's recorded live, or they added just the sounds of the live. I don't know, but it sounds like a live track. And it's a pretty good song. It has a classic rock sound, and not everything on this album sounds like 90s grunge. There's like a lot of variety on this album. They have a song called Hey Man, and when I first heard the intro, it sounded very funky, like something that would have come out in the 70s. I'm thinking of something that could have been on the soundtrack to one of those Shaft movies, but then it turned into more of a grungy type of song once the guitar kicked in, and thought it was another pretty good one. I like the psychedelic rock undertones in the second half. There's a song called Kick It, and this one brings back that 90s grunge sound. You can hear it in the guitar playing. It also has this 80s post-punk type of vibe, kind of what I got from it. But there's like different flavorings in the song, and that's what I'm trying to say. There's a song called Matter of Fact, and this one's pretty good. It's funky, it's jazzy, it just had a different sound. I don't know what it is about it, but they changed the guitar rhythm. I thought it was pretty good. There was one part in the chorus that reminded me of one of the songs from Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. I couldn't think of the title right now, but like when you listen to the song, you know what I'm talking about. They have a song called Sister and Mary, and this makes me think, what if the Beatles stayed together and they continue to release albums? And I thought the song Sister and Mary would have come out on one of those Beatles albums like from the early 80s. It just had this Beatles sound, but with 80s new wave. That's what I got. We have a song called Be The One. This is a softer piano-based song. Another one that reminded me a little bit of Tom Petty, but another one of those songs that has heartfelt lyrics, and it's a short song. It's about 2.5 minutes, so I enjoyed it. Moving into the second half of the album, and there's a song called Keep It On Track. I'm thinking it's very 80s Joy Division or The Cure, that type of thing, but a little more upbeat. It's more of a straightforward rock song, so it's not like sad or depressing. It has more of an uplifting tone. And the song also has a throwback grunge sound, and there's a part where Ed Roland does this rapping. So it's kind of a unique song. It's also the longest song, which is just under 5 minutes. There's a song called Who Loves. It's a very upbeat rock song, the type of song with those woo, woo, those types of woos. And it kind of sounds like the intro to a teen drama in the 90s. That's what I got from it. Then there's a part where they sing La-Di-Da, and it's kind of strange because the next song is actually called La-Di-Da, which I will get into right now. And that's the song called La-Di-Da. It's a pretty good song. Another one that reminds me a lot of Tom Petty. It's an acoustic-driven rock song. Lyrics seem to tell a story, and there's a little bit of that country rock. Next song is called Bring On The Day. I thought this one had more of that 90s influence, something you would hear from their earlier albums. It's not a heavy song, but just more of a 90s vibe, if that makes any sense. They also have some of those violins in the background, and it's an upbeat song. We have a song called Words Away. This is a straightforward rock song. It sounds very uplifting. The lyrics are heartfelt. They use some backing vocals that adds extra elements to the sound. My favorite part of the song is the guitar solo because they use a very unique guitar tone that sounded very good. After this is a song called No Man's Land, and at first I thought it was going to be a straightforward rock song, but then they brought in those heavy distorted bass guitar sound that gave it more of a grungier feel. So thought it was. Next song is called Letter From E, and it's another straightforward rock song. Sounds like some heartland rock. It doesn't really sound like grunge. I think it's going to be, this is going to be like the 5th time that I mentioned that person's name, but it reminded me of Tom Petty again. Next song is called I Know You, You Know Me, and this is one, sounds like something from the earlier 90s sound that has more of a straight alternative sound, even though it's straightforward rock. I enjoyed it. The main guitar riff has a very grungy type of sound. Not heavy, but grungy. The penultimate song is called Therapy. This one is very bright and bouncy. It's a rock song, has a little bit of an alternative and 90s type of vibe. Thought it was another pretty good rock song. 20 tracks later, we get to the last song called Over and Out. It's straightforward acoustic rock. Sounds like a singer-songwriter type of song, like a lot of the others. I'll talk about that when I get to my final thoughts, which I'm going to do right my final thoughts. So I went into this with a lot of hesitation because I saw 20 tracks and I'm thinking it's going to be a really long album, but given that the songs are about 3 minutes long each, it doesn't feel long and it goes by quicker than you would expect. And I think that's because there isn't any filler on this album. There's a wide variety of styles. Some of it's heavier, some of it's grungier, some of it's more alternative. Some of it sounds like an Ed Roland, like singer-songwriter type of album. But I was impressed. There were not any skippable tracks. There's no filler. And for that reason, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I liked it more than I thought I would. I think I even liked it more than Pearl Jam's Dark Matter, which is kind of controversial to say. But check out my review of Vibrating from 2022. Completely forgot about this album. I don't even remember what I said about it, but check it out. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. And I'm glad I reviewed this instead of the new Kerry King album, but I will include that in my new metal releases of the week series, which I'll probably put out tomorrow. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.